tortellini. I wanted to make this video because
the battery's about to die. We both continued to say it. We had a scheduled C-section, and we just went into the doctor this morning for our last
ultrasound.
Last ultrasound, and
My
her
placenta moved.
Which
the reason we are so ecstatic is because it was partially covering, and then it was completely covering, and then they said, you need a C-section, you cannot do natural birth, and there's no way it's gonna move. And then I saw a midwife, and she was like, there's no way. And I was like, can I just request an ultrasound a couple days before my scheduled C-section? That way I know for sure I need it. Cause just, I don't know, Max and I were like, we were just gonna pray over it and have faith for a miracle and just like believe that like if God wanted it to move and me to deliver naturally, that like he would make it happen, because he moves mountains, so he can move a placenta. And so yeah, all I needed to move was 2 centimeters. And so I told her that, and she said, I don't even see how it's medically necessary. You would have to pay for that ultrasound all yourself, and I don't think you understand that that's not possible. And I was like, I know, but like, what if?
Don't let people get in the way of the plans God has for you.
Yeah, and I was like, what if? And she walked out of the, no, she said, honey, I'm gonna go get you a diagram because you don't understand. And she walked out of the room, and I cried, and Max is like, it's okay, it'll be fine. And she came back and she showed me, and Max and I made another appointment with somebody else, and they said, yeah, we could do an ultrasound. That's probably a good idea.
And she said we should. So long story short, this is amazing. We're so excited.
This is amazing. We were supposed to have a C-section November 1st, which is 48 hours from now, and we were not announcing the date. It was less?
Yeah, he would have been born already in 48 hours.
Oh my gosh.
5 o'clock.
So we were not announcing the date, but now, like, that was the day he was gonna be born. Okay, the camera died, but I still just wanted to say, like, a couple things. The day that we found out that I had to have a C-section and they told me that and everything, I, like, could not come to a place to, like, accept that. And so, well, at first I cried for, like, 2 or 3 hours on our way home, and then when we got home, and I was denying it, and I was like, Max, I'm not doing that. I can't. I was like, I'm not going to. And it was really hard at first and whatever. And then I came home, and I took out all my birth affirmations, because when you do home birth, a lot of times you like do affirmations to like just affirm yourself and like think positive and push yourself through birth positively and stuff, and not think about it at all in like a negative way. So I'll show you those. So I came home and I took all of these out of my drawer, which I wouldn't have hung up for a while after, and I hung them all up above our bed. So I hung those above our bed, and I just, like, seriously just looked at them before I fell asleep and just tried to just pray and pray and pray and just speak over myself that was going to happen and that God can move mountains. And yeah, so that was one thing. Another thing then was a sermon series we were in the middle of with Transformation Church, which all their sermons are on YouTube, so you can go watch them, is called Crazy Faith. And it was all about how miracles do happen, even though people always are like, oh, that happens to, like, you know, the pastor. And they just, like, go through that, like, everybody says it's not possible until it happens. And it does, like, you just have to have faith. And, like, I don't think I've ever had something in my life where I've ever had to, like, pray for so much that, like, literally was out of my control. So Max and I prayed for this seriously, prayer after prayer after prayer, like nights and mornings and in the car. And there were days that I just sat there and just listened to worship music and just cried and just prayed and just, like, I don't know, we just surrendered in that. And in that time, as I was praying for that, I knew that I had to prepare for both, but since I knew the C-section was coming and stuff, I really had to surrender my fear to that too, and just overcome my anxiousness and anxiety and fear and worry about the C-section, and just know that, like, if it was gonna move, it was gonna move, and if it wasn't, like, God's still in control. And that just means he's going to teach me something in that season. So, like, literally as of yesterday, like, I was like, you know what, like, God taught me to overcome my fear, to give him all of my worries and all of my anxiousness and everything, because even though I prayed that it would move and we're not sure if it will, and everybody's telling me it won't, like, he's going to teach me something in this, and it'll be worth it, you know, even though every single advice I'd get from any mom or people who had kids, like mostly all moms, I actually, like, in my heart, I was really bitter when people would give me advice, even though, like, I would be, like, really thankful and message back, but I was really bitter about all the advice because I felt like they were just being, like, okay with the fact that C-section was, like, my answer. And I don't know, like, in my heart, like, I felt convicted being so, like, bitter about all of it, and I shouldn't have been that way in my heart, even though I didn't, like, show that to them. But I'm thankful that everyone has come around me and supported me, and, like, the people who really did believe with me and the people who didn't believe with me, and now they know miracles are possible even when people say they are not, and they tell you to manage your expectations, and they tell you to, I don't know, just, everybody said this wasn't possible, and I just, like, if you don't believe in God, like, I don't know what else to say, but just, like, I'm just so thankful, and I just want to, like I said in that last video, just, like, use this as part of my testimony. Like, one, pray for everything, like, give God everything, even, like, I don't know, when it was outside of my control, that was the point where I really had to give him all my anxiety, all my worry, and be like, you know what, yes, I have to go in for C-section, this is what I'm doing, and if this is what you want me to do, this is what we're doing, and you're gonna teach me something through this. And what he taught me was, I don't get to control everything, he does. He is the one who holds the world in his hands. He is the one who controls everything, and I don't have control over everything or my circumstances, and he won't let me down. And so, anyway, I think that's it. I feel like I got everything off my chest, and I just really want to document this because I want to look back on this and I want to feel how, like, passionate I was about this at this time in my life, and I want to remember the hours that I spent, like, literally, like, crying, like, laying on the floor or laying in bed just, like, crying over this, praying for this, and I'm just so happy, and I think that's it. Thank you for watching and following along on our little journey and praying with us. To all my friends and family and Max's friends and family who've prayed with us.